Coming up on A Moment of Wisdom.
You look at some people and you assume they have it all figured out. My next guest built a life the cameras called perfect and then told the truth about what was really underneath. This is a conversation about surviving the worst, forgiving what you can't forget, and checking on the people who look like they're fine.
When you're on the floor, the only place you can go is up. That's how I found myself. I was just broken, everything. I felt like I was cursed, like everything seemed to be going wrong.
All that and more right here on A Moment of Wisdom. Welcome to A Moment of Wisdom. I'm Wisdom Martin. Andy Cohen once called my next guest the Queen of Class. You know her from Bravo's Married to Medicine, but she's also an author now, and the story in her book is a lot heavier than anything that ever aired. She turned a season of loss into a roadmap for healing, and she was kind enough to have a conversation with me from Aspen. Let's get into it. Let's talk about your book, From Attitude to Gratitude. Why did you decide to write the book, and what do you hope that people take away from it?
I had a series of terrible things happen to me. Death of my sister, identity theft. I was in an armed robbery and some other things, and I just was broken. And so I wrote the book as a way to heal myself. And in writing it and doing the work, I realized it could maybe inspire other people that are going through anything really, any trauma, any healing that people need to do. It's kind of an easy read and it's easy steps to follow in order to heal yourself. And that's why I wrote it. It was healing. It was
Right.
my own journey, healing
Right.
myself.
That's a lot to go through. Now, the things you just said there, that's a lot of difficult things to go through. And I know it's in your book. How
Yeah.
on earth do you even start to navigate one thing after another that's causing these major life-changing events?
And I just decided that was not going to define me. That was not going to be my story. That was not going to be my life. Even though it's wounds that you carry for the rest of your life, there's a way that you can transform those wounds into something that empowers you every day instead of something that keeps you in bed, down and just depressed. So it was a way of healing myself. And I just wanted to spread that message. I mean, so many people suffer, so many people go through so much. And you never know when you meet people. You know, you would think also looking at me, and especially my appearance on reality television, everybody thought I had everything going for me and my life was perfect, silver spoon in my mouth. And I just wanted to pull the curtain back on that and let people know the real story.
You've talked about some of this as well, especially with the women.
Yeah.
Um, your experience with the other women in reality TV, based on what you've just talked about, I'm going to say challenging to say the least, but you describe it how you think you want to describe it.
Well, I think when you're filming, you know, everything's under the microscope.
Mhm.
And when you're in these conversations or these events, there's a lot of hurt from previous things that people have said. And things come up. And what I've realized is when someone's reacting to something, it's triggering something about themselves. You know, they say that a lot of your relationships are mirrors of yourself. So someone can say something and that could trigger a particular person. And then it's all hell breaks loose. And then they pick feisty personalities. You know, it's an interesting group of women. But what I love is when something really happens in real life, everybody does come together to support each other. So it is a group of women that can be real friends.
That's interesting because when you see it on TV, it doesn't look like that. I'm always
Yeah.
fascinated at how it's combat, name calling, fighting, and then everybody comes together again. In fact, you're talking about this as well, how to go from competition on reality TV to actual friendships. That's a real thing that you've explored and discovered.
Yeah, I think authenticity, like when you are your authentic self, you attract other people that are their authentic selves. You may repel some people in the process because they'll be like, I don't like that person. But then it brings real friends. And to have a real friendship, I always tell my kids, to have a friend, you have to be a friend.
Do you ever think that it's too much? Well, like when you watch reality TV, whether it was your show, when you look back on your
Yeah,
show,
I
or do
think
you think it's too much?
I do. I think a lot of it is too much because in any argument, once you go below a certain level, it's hard to come back from that.
Mhm.
And I think often that does happen. And that's why certain people move on from reality television, or friendships don't heal, and then that person doesn't come back. So it's really about, you have to have forgiveness. You have to get to a place where you can truly forgive that person. But I think always sticking up for the girl that's not in the room. There's always a lot of gossip, and that's how things get out of hand. You never know it's true. I think supporting the one that's not in the room, being kind, I know that's hard coming from reality television, but kindness goes a long way. And the mean girl type thing is often people that are wounded themselves. It's insecure women.
The pivot isn't the end of the story. Sometimes it is the beginning of the right one. When we come back, the pressure we put on women to be perfect, the regret that Kari refuses to carry, and what's next for her. Hold on to that thought while we're away.
It's hard for women. We have this on social media, this impossible standards that we have to sort of stick to. And I think that creates a lot of insecurity. So women are coming at it from feeling that they have to be perfect all the time, feeling that they have to do everything, juggle work, kids, social lives, look perfect, have all the stuff. And that's just too much. It's unrealistic standards.
Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. So the first thing we want to do is talk about the podcast. You two have teamed up on a special podcast, Let's Be Honest, Sis.
Yes.
Tell me about the podcast, why you two teamed up on that.
Well, we became friends and we had this great idea. We do business all the time, so we kind of wanted to just let our hair down and talk about, the things that happens after 5 o'clock, just with the sisters, like, dating, beyond money, just everything from A to Z, fun stuff.
Fun stuff, okay.
But we're keeping it all the way real. So
all the way real.
Let's be honest, sis. So just being raw and real with my sis. And we wanted to mix, the generations together, because you're a Gen X. And I'm a
See,
millennial.
this stuff came out. I'm in the 55 plus. I'm a Gen.
You're a Gen.
So she's a Gen, and I'm a millennial.
Okay.
So, putting those generations together just
Right.
to see different perspectives about how things are. And she's married, and I'm, I'm not married yet. I will be married soon, God willing. But, mixing that together is, it's a great combination.
All right. So some of the topics that you tackle, you talk about after 5 topics. Like, give me the top 2 that you've had where you've had some great conversations about.
The social media ruin modern relationships, and also
Yes.
who you're around matters.
Who you're around matters.
Yes.
Now, first, let's address social media first, because we know that's a huge thing across the board. So you said social media ruined relationships, modern relationships.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, I feel like going on social media, there's a lot of pressure on what women should look like, what they should act like, what your date should be like, what your man should be like, and they're not portraying what's real, and then there's all types of bad advice out here, about men and, that they are the top of the food chain and women should be 125 pounds and, and I just think realistically dating after 40 years old, you should expect certain things like the person to have children. They don't post that. What it's like to be a stepmom, what it's like to date someone with multiple kids by a different person. Like they're just posting the fun stuff. So
They are. It's like the highlight reel.
The highlight.
It's definitely the highlight
So
reel.
it's an
of your
illusion.
life.
It's kind of an illusion.
It's an illusion, and then on top of that, I feel like men just have so many more options. So the internet creates that, and then the pressures of putting your relationship in front of others, where you feel like people are judging you, or should you keep it private? So privacy is no longer there.
Right.
So I feel like Instagram, TikTok, and in this era, it's really affecting relationships in this modern time.
What do you hope people take away when they watch the podcast? What do you want people to take away from it? When they walk away every time you two are together, what do you want? You want them to say, this is what I learned today. What would that be?
I want them to have fun. I want them to see men don't post their relationship as much as women do. And I don't want the women.
Why is that?
I don't know why. My husband, on his page, he had 3 pictures. And I got him everywhere. He has 3 pictures. So he just doesn't.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Modern men, like men in
Gotcha.
the limelight, they but men just don't post as
Right.
much, and so I don't want women to think that their man doesn't, it's not into them. It's just something that men just doesn't do.
Yeah.
That's what you want to. That's what you want people
Don't.
to. That's what you want people to take away from the podcast.
I don't know. Just
Yeah.
don't be so hard on them
Don't
all
be
the
so
time.
hard
Don't
on.
be so hard.
Don't
on
be so
them.
hard on men.
No.
I understand that. I understand
Well, I
that.
can be a little bit hard on them.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
My
Go ahead.
perspective, I'll be a little bit harder.
Go ahead. Be a little
So,
hard.
I mean, just in general, just, being transparent, and we just want people to feel like they can be real with us, because I feel like social media is just so fake, so our podcast is more of like a real, raw type of solution for people who just want to sit back and relax.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next in regards to each one of you? What's the plan after the podcast? Is there something that you're working on next? Because I know you're a realtor by trade.
I'm a realtor and an
Okay.
author.
And an author. Tell
Yeah.
me. So let's talk about your book then. Tell me about your book.
So this is my second book.
Okay.
Always wanted to write a book. I know everyone, all of my friends are like, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. And each year, a year goes past and they haven't written a book. So I started to follow my dream instead of my dream following me. I'm like, let me just tackle it.
Yes.
So my new book is called Brick by Brick, a real estate love story about me and my husband, our journey, how we met, what we came from, being the first in the family to have wealth or create generational wealth, and the first amongst our friends, how to navigate through that when your friends aren't necessarily where you are and you don't want them to feel a certain way, but trying to elevate and move up without weights. Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge when it comes to that field though? When you're in real estate, you're talking about building wealth through real estate, and your friends might not necessarily understand it. So what's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is them really not knowing exactly what you have and who you are, because sometimes they plan stuff and they think a certain way. You just like, for instance, when we're out, our phone is constantly ringing. So on vacation, they're like, get off the phone. Like, no, you don't understand. Like, we have to be on our phones. Like, we manage our own company, we manage our own properties. And they're like, just, why you can't get somebody else to do it? And, all you do is work. But when you work for yourself, there's no days off. And they just,
Absolutely.
it's hard for a person working 9 to 5 to understand when you work for yourself, you cannot turn the engine off, because
Right.
the engine may not start back up.
I know
You
that's
don't
right.
get paid out of hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
It never stops.
It never stops.
No.
Jacqueline, you understand in the friendship that way?
Yes,
you
I
understand
do.
that?
Yes, absolutely. It never cuts off. No.
It never cuts off.
No.
So, all right. So I know that you're a realtor by trade before the podcast, and I know you have some history before you didn't just wake up one day and start doing a podcast, because you were on one of the housewives of Potomac, or on one of the cast members.
Yes.
What has been that? What was that? Number one, what was that experience like, and what is it like afterwards?
Wow, that's a loaded gun. Wisdom.
Well, you know what? Unload it right here. we love you to unload right here.
Well, I would say that it was an experience. It was definitely a fun experience. It was also challenging. I feel like, I never thought that I would ever do TV, because my background is, HR, and I worked for the government for many, many years. So it was just something that was just so different, but I loved it overall. What was the other question, Wisdom?
So so the first question was, what was your experience like? And the next question was like, when you think about the Housewives and the whole franchise, not just the one that you were in, but the entire franchise, why do it? Why?
I used to ask myself that all the time. Maybe you don't want my opinion.
Yes, we do. We like to keep it real here too.
Gotta keep it real.
Keep it real. Yes.
I would say that it's good for people that's all they really want to do. I feel like for people who have like really robust careers and have a lot going on, sometimes it's not the easiest to navigate that in reality TV, because filming takes up so much of your life.
Right.
And then a lot of people get caught up in all this and all the hoopla and all the clout and the chasing and everything like that. And then I feel like a lot of people lose themselves within reality TV. And I just feel like it's just a whole warp of drama in reality TV, especially the Housewives, to be honest with you.
Well, that's kind of what they
Yes.
sell, though, right? They kind of sell the drama.
Yes, it's trash TV. Let's be honest. So I mean, Potomac is definitely the classy version of it. But I feel like it's good for people that it makes sense for them. I don't think it's good for everybody. I
Right.
think it just depends on the person. If you're grounded and you have a good mentality and you can keep yourself leveled. But a lot of people can't handle it. It's very, you need to have tough skin to be on reality TV. Like, people will literally, everything that you're insecure about yourself about, it comes out tenfold when you get in front of that screen.
Wow.
It does. Yes, from your hair, your outfits, to who you with, your man, everything. All your businesses out there. Wow. You might get arrested. I mean, it's drama. You know?
Lots of time. Why'd you say?
I'm just saying. I mean, that's the reality
No,
of
I
it.
know, you're right.
So
You're right.
it's like, if you don't want all that, then I would say stay off the cameras.
Stay off the cameras.
You know,
Okay.
sometimes it's good to be private. And I'm enjoying that.
You're enjoying life afterwards.
I am.
Right.
Very much so.
Okay. Do you miss any of the cast members? You know I'm going to ask you that. Do you miss any of them?
I don't miss a lot of them, but I miss some of them.
You see how I'm trying to dig a little bit.
Yes,
Dig a little bit
I
deeper.
miss some of them,
Yes.
but I have their numbers and I can hang out with them anytime.
Whoever,
so,
the ones that you want to.
Absolutely.
Right.
We all know each other. The ladies see my stuff. They know
Yeah.
where I'm at. They know where I live. I know where they live. And, if we want to have a connection, we can do that any moment.
Right.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
you don't need to be on a show to connect with people.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's next for you, ladies, as far as the podcast and the rest of your world is concerned? Your business world, not your personal lives, but your business world.
It sounds like a soap opera.
Well, I'm trying to get trying to get some viewers here. Trying to get a little deeper, dig a little deeper.
We're working on our book tour called Her Story.
Yes.
And so we're getting together some local female authors, Black women authors in the area, and we're going to have a book tour starting here in Washington, D.C. So we're working on that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
In
right.
June. We're hoping it,
In June.
starting in
Okay.
June.
And you're working on that. You're going to get these authors. What do you hope to say the people take away from that once they come and see these different authors that you're trying
I
to get
want
together?
them to come and hear our stories and let them know. Anyone that wants, they want to write a book, just get started. There's no perfect time, so don't wait on everything to be perfect in your world to get started, because you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow, and that's true. We're losing people left and right, so just get started. Take some time out and start working on your book. And we have some people that's hoping that their books become movies, like mine.
Yes.
So that's what
We're
I'm
not
gonna work
hoping
on.
it's going to be a
We're gonna-
reality.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
I'm liking the
yes. We don't
positive.
hope,
The
okay?
positive vibe right here.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what is that what the friend? That's about this friendship?
Yes, we have to bounce off of each
Yes,
other.
and we
Okay.
keep it real with each other all the time.
Keep it
so,
real with
yes.
each other. All right.
Yes.
We're almost done here. So Jacqueline, I'll give you the last word. You can say anything you want right now,
Yes. So.
as long as it's clean.
Oh, it's always clean with me.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm in PR now, and so my bestie here, ArLancia, I'm helping her with her story, and we're going to be doing a book tour, and I'm working with that. So definitely, if you're looking for PR or anything like that, then reach out to me.
Okay. All right. You got anything you want to add?
If you need a house, you need an apartment building, contact.
This
We
all of a
need
sudden
hope.
turned into a
Wanna
commercial,
read
a
book?
career commercial.
Read my book.
Read-
Yes, brick by brick. And
Uh-huh.
what's the other books, babe?
Cheating saved my marriage.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You buried the lead. Before I go,
I know.
what is
right?
that about?
How did she
Cheating
unleash this
saved
at the
my
last
marriage.
minute?
It's fictional based on factual.
What?
Yes.
She left this out the whole time.
You buried the lead. I'm almost out of time. Tell me, explain,
Saved
please.
my marriage.
Please explain real quick.
Well, I'm not telling women to go out and cheat and save their marriage, or men, but you don't have to leave your relationship because someone cheated, and it actually saved a marriage. Now, my marriage, yes.
Wow.
More
Yes.
to come on her story book tour,
Yes,
okay?
read the book.
Read the book.
Okay,
Yes.
I like how you teed that up. Thank you for
Yes,
teeing that up.
yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you coming in. Wow, that's a way to close out a moment of wisdom right there. Welcome back to A Moment of Wisdom. Kari Wells just named the impossible standard so many people live under. So let's talk about putting it down and what she's building next. You also talked about handling female conflict with strength and creativity as well.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I think it's hard for women. We have this on social media, this impossible standards that we have to sort of stick to. And I think that creates a lot of insecurity. So women are coming at it from feeling that they have to be perfect all the time, feeling that they have to do everything, juggle work, kids, social lives, look perfect, have all the stuff. And that's just too much. It's unrealistic standards. I think just realizing that what you have is enough and building your own self-worth, and then it allows you to have better friendships and stronger bonds with people.
All right. Any regrets about you getting involved in reality TV based on where it started and where it ended?
I don't like regret. I don't like having regrets because I think that's a waste of time. But there are some things I definitely would have done differently. I would have stuck up for myself a bit more at the reunion because I'd just given up by that point. It was crazy. Yeah.
Right. All right. What's next for you? I know we've got the book that's out. What's
The book
next?
is
What else?
out, and I'm doing a lifestyle show in Aspen that's more about real stories and real people. And I'm hoping to get each episode give back to a local nonprofit. So I'm working on that at the moment.
All right. Okay. Anything else you wanna add? Either
Yes,
about your
follow
book?
me on social media. And if you do read my book, I'd love to hear what you think about it. I'm getting some great stories from people that have gone through so many different things and how it's helped them heal. So I'd love to hear, personal stories that people can reach out to me on social media.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending some
Thank
time.
you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. It's a really interesting conversation because, like I said, every time I watch reality TV, I'm like, "Ooh, this is cringe," because it starts off one way, everybody's having fun, and then they start drinking, and then it goes way left, name calling, and
I know
it go to
it is.
bells.
It's a lot.
It
It's
is a lot.
definitely a lot.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and your insight. Take care.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you
and
so
let us know
much.
if you come to DC. If you come to DC anytime to promote your book or anything that you're working on, let us know, and you can come by the station and we can do it in person or whatever you
I
want to do.
would love that. I would
Yeah.
really love that. Thank
So
you so much.
absolutely let us know. All right. Thank you
Okay,
very
bye-bye.
much, and take care. I want to sit with something that Kari said because it's the whole episode in one sentence. When you're on the floor, the only place you can go is up. Think about what she survived: losing her sister, an armed robbery, having her own identity stolen, and one thing stacked on top of another. And the whole time, the world looked at her and saw a woman who had it all: the perfect life, a silver spoon. She could have let that picture stand. It would have been a lot easier. Instead, though, she pulled back the curtain and told the truth so that somebody else on their floor might believe that there is an up. She says wounds don't disappear, but you can turn them into something that actually empowers you. She also says that to have a friend, you have to be a friend. That forgiveness isn't a gift you give to the other person, it is the weight you finally put down for yourself. You should check on your people and let your people check on you. In the words of the late great singer and songwriter Bill Withers, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm going to need somebody to lean on. Remember as well that what you have is enough. Who you are is enough. Turn your attitude into gratitude. Forgive somebody, and you can start with yourself. Her book is From Attitude to Gratitude. Remember that. Check it out. I'm Wisdom Martin. Remember, the world needs your story.